Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. We are back after Thanksgiving break, and damn, does it feel good. So today I have a very special guest, a very talented actor, Iván Carlo, who you all know as Alfredo from the movie Smile 2. Now, this guy played one of the creepiest roles in the movie. And after watching Smile 2, I had to get him on my show because your character, believe it or not, was my favorite, my favorite character in the entire movie. Because I don't know what you did to prepare for this role, but you fucking delivered, man. Seriously, you did it.
Dude, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And hey guys, I'm Iván. It's nice to meet y'all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, man. You know, I got the audition and it was something that was completely different than what I normally read for. And I was like, hey, let's just dive in. I didn't even know it was for Smile 2. It was for an untitled Paramount picture. So, just read the script and was like, oh, this guy's a creep. All right, let's let's go for it. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
So, if you could tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you got into acting, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm actually born and raised in the DMV. That's like the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So I'm a Maryland boy. And honestly, like I wasn't in the arts growing up at all. And in high school, I was trying my hardest to be that like athletic dude. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was trying to be that all-American, like young man that played football, soccer, basketball. Like I just, all of it. But not in the cards for me. I mean, sports were a little more difficult for me to grasp. And I actually saw this musical at my high school out in Germantown, Maryland. They were doing Hairspray. And it sounds cheesy, dude, but like it's true. Like I watched this musical and everything changed for me. I was like, I'm done with trying to, be an athlete. I want to do that. And that kind of jump started me like auditioning for like the school shows and then community theater outside of school. And then ultimately, I was lucky enough to get a scholarship at UMD, the University of Maryland, College Park, to study acting. And yeah, like piece by piece, things just kind of like went my way. And, I got to meet some really cool people who introduced me to other really cool people. And it's a lot of it's luck meets preparation, I guess. But, you know, yeah, and then COVID hits and I kind of shift from the theater world to more of an on camera world, and then that world just really like opened its arms to me, which ultimately led to me moving to New York, which is where I get the Smile audition. So yeah, I mean, it's been a I wouldn't say it's been like a standard like I did this since I was a kid, but once I decided this is what I want to do, I feel like the industry really just kind of embraced me, and I've always been able to find really interesting projects and meet really cool people. And it's all about just being prepared and being nice, and I feel like that gets you far, as well as luck, obviously.
It's obviously they picked the right person for the role as Alfredo because like I said, you delivered, man. I mean, I watched the movie twice already because I love it so much. Um,
Sick.
but a few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, just before the movie was released, I talked to Peter Jacobson, who played Morris. So
He's
really
so
cool guy,
cool. He's so
really
cool.
cool guy. I mean, his talent agent reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to interview, Peter?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'll talk
Yeah,
to him about Smile too."
yeah,
But he
he's sick.
couldn't say much because the movie wasn't released yet. So
Okay.
we couldn't spoil anything, which I was like, I was like, oh my god, I want to say something so bad, but I couldn't. So,
The first
but
time I
now the
met
movie is
him
done
was
in
actually at
theaters.
the premiere. He was sitting right behind me. So like we're watching the movie for the first time together. Well, actually not the first time, the second or third time. And like, we're just like kind of like peeking back at each other and like laughing and like, oh, that was good. Yeah, Peter's a cool guy.
So you auditioned for the role of Alfredo, and how did you how did you prepare for this role, like mentally and physically? I mean, it's the both scenes are intense. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
dude! Like the first time you see Skyr Riley in whatever she's done the concert, and you just start freaking out, and she starts freaking out. Mentally and
Yeah.
physically, how did you prepare for this role?
Well, there's a lot of research on like the creeps of like horror films. So I really just like I went back to like my favorites, like obviously like the Hannibals. Um, Insidious, like just like I just watched a lot of horror films, and I really tried to grasp like who who is, and this sounds so like actory and annoying, but like who is Alfredo? Like why is he this way? And like ultimately you're just left with a guy who's judged based off of what he looks like, and then that leads to like a whole bunch of complexes, and he gets obsessed over one person who he believes won't judge him, and he goes real hardcore into that. So that, interestingly enough, that part was kind of easy to lean into. It's just like, oh, I'm just really obsessed with this person, and it's to a typical person, it's insane, but to him it's just like there's no other outlet for all this energy. Like this is what he's been waiting for. Interesting story about this. The part was actually only supposed to be that one scene. It was just supposed to be the signing, and then like me freaking out, getting pulled off. They were potentially going to add another mini scene where he comes back, but nobody sees him except for Skyr Riley. But um, I get a call after I booked the films, and they're like, "Hey, like, how do you feel about adding the second scene, which ultimately becomes the hallway scene?" And they're like, "It involves, I don't want to give too many spoilers for people who haven't seen it yet, but it involves some things that you might not have been well versed in before, and how do you feel about X, Y, and Z, and what can we provide to you for that?" And at that point, we were like 2 weeks before shooting, so there wasn't really much physical preparation that could be done besides like making sure that I knew the lines back and front, and that I was there and ready to like play with it. If Parker Finn, the director, is like, "Hey, try it this way." Because in the callback room, they had me try all kinds of ways. They were like, "What if Alfredo's like meltdown is like, he's like turning into a lizard man? What does that look like?" And that's when I knew. That's when I knew I really wanted it. I still didn't know it was Smile too. I had an idea it was Smile too, but it wasn't confirmed or anything. And at that point, once I heard Parker say, what if that?" I was like, "Oh, this is exactly what I love to do. I love to just like try something, whether it's funny, scary, happy, sad, whatever, and see if it sticks and if someone gets something from it." So yeah, it was sick. And then they ultimately add this other scene because I was like, absolutely, like more screen time, please. I'm still like auditioning left and right, and making a name for myself. So I'm like, let's do it. Like I almost don't care what it is. And then I walk on set, and then I saw something very specific on the floor. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
That I had no idea would be there. I was like, oh no.
So just
But
for those who have not seen this movie yet, the hallway scene, 2 words: dirty underwear. That's all you're gonna know. Okay.
I had no idea that they would be there, dude. I had like I had no idea.
I was watching. I was like, because you see her. Okay, spoiler alert. She comes. She starts freaking out. She sees the clothes coming, like the clothes lay on the floor, and the more it pans up, and you're like, "Oh God, what the hell, man!" But I'm gonna stop right there because I know some people have not seen the movie yet. Like I know a handful of people who watched it. I saw it in the theater, and then I watched it again on video on demand because it's on about a lot of platforms right now. So yeah, it's Jesus Christ, man. This movie by far is my favorite sequel because because the directing, the acting, your role in the movie, fucking shit, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's
it's a lot. It's a lot.
your dialogue. You if I were to see you in a hallway somewhere, I'd freak out too. Just saying, because and I don't
Yeah.
scare easily. I used to be a scare actor, so I mean, seeing you in a hallway,
And look,
no,
man, like the coolest part about it was Parker Finn, the director for both films. Like he knew what he wanted, and we had a conversation. He's like, honestly, we weren't looking for someone like you, but we found you, and we just had you. You did it, so thank you. But like, he really created a vibe on the set, as well as Naomi Scott, who's truly the real deal. I've only worked with her, for this one film, and that was for a couple of days here and there over the span of a couple of weeks. But you can really tell when someone truly has it. And yeah, Naomi Scott has it. And like she was super like attentive and like, hey, like what do you need? Because it's kind of sensitive material and you're very vulnerable in certain scenes. And it's like, what do you need? How do you feel? And really that just gave me the like it empowered me to, feel like I could really go nuts with it and really like try different things. And that opened up new possibilities, like how they filmed everything. And yeah, it was truly just kind of like a dream come true. Meanwhile, I'm like thrashing and screaming and
Well,
hurting
I'm not.
myself.
To be honest, I did chuckle a little bit when we first met, Skyr Riley at the concert. When I forgot what you
Yeah,
said, it's like, "How's your skin so moist?" or "Your skin so beautiful?" or something
you
like
have the
that.
most amazing skin. Yeah,
I, I don't know why I laughed. I don't know why I thought that was funny, but I did. I don't know what it
I
was,
mean,
but
yeah. I feel like any reaction that anyone has to my scenes in this film completely valid. You know what I mean? Like I've seen the film a bunch. Like friends and family want to go see it, and then you have like the premiere events and everything. And I've seen it a lot, and I feel like I've seen a wide variety of people reacting to Alfredo, which it is pretty cool. Like it's very unexpected. It's very fresh for me, so I still feel nervous, even though I've seen it so many times and I know what's happening. I'm like, how is this group going to react? Are they going to be scared? Are they going to laugh? Are they going to do both? Like there's always a funny like random person saying something like like that makes people laugh. It's just cool to kind of be the source of this discourse, I guess is the word. Like you know people are into it whether they're grossed out or creeped out. So yeah, can't complain. It's been really cool, man.
I mean, like I said, you delivered very well.
Thanks.
Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought. Jesus, I'm sorry.
No worries,
I
man.
gotta
No worries.
rewind. I gotta rewind back a little bit because you're right now. You already answered like half my questions.
Oh, sick. Sorry, bro.
It's okay. No, no, no. It's perfectly fine, which is great. I mean, um, so the movie has some wild practical effects. We all seen it, and I'm gonna say it right now. This movie is more of a mind spank than the first one because I like how they kept building it up, and building it up until the very end is when boom, there's the big finale. I mean, not like the first movie, it kept showing like giving like it kept foreshadowing and foreboding what's gonna happen next. But Smile too, they kept teasing everybody. I mean, I'm like, I kept asking myself, when's this shit gonna end? When's it gonna take a break? But no, it kept going and going and going. I could not take my eyes off the screen. I had to put my phone down. Like, okay, eventually something's gonna happen. And holy shit, dude, that driving scene in the van, where she's trying to go find Morris at that empty place,
Yeah,
that scared the fuck out of me.
yeah. Are you talking about the one when she is like, oh, I guess I don't want to give too many plots away, but she runs away and she's going to see. Yeah, I see. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that part
there's a couple really good car rides in that film. The one with Ray Nicholson's really good. He's a phenomenal actor. I feel like him and Lucas Cage were the only two people I haven't met, but they both have just like really cool, like um intense intense scenes.
and Peter told me to prepare myself, and I did. Jesus, was he right? Like 100%, totally right.
Yeah.
So, um, so in one scene, he's very passionate about meeting Skyr Riley at the music venue,
Mhm.
and in another scene, she's hallucinating that you're in her apartment. And how was that transition for you? How did you prepare for that transition? Because one scene you're like going all batshit crazy, and the next scene you're all calm and like doing like the death stare. I mean, how did you transition that?
I gotta be honest, bro. Like, I feel like I had the easiest job in the room that day. Like, like on set and offset, like, you know, it really kind of just like I feel like I just had to nail the smile, and I just had to stand there because like the lighting, the way that they pan up, the props that they use, like it all tells a story. And then really like the heavy lifting of the scene, it kind of switches because like obviously in the first scene, like I'm freaking out, I'm giving a lot of energy, and Sky Riley's reacting to that energy that Alfredo's giving her. And in this one, it's almost like the exact opposite, where like, I'm just like I'm there. And she does the heavy lifting of the scene of like, what is that? Oh my God, this is terrifying. Like all of that is on her. I'm just doing the like You know what I mean? And like that was such a fun day on set. Like I'd never done anything like it before, and like I'm out there hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, and everyone was super cool about it, super gracious, and like we were making a lot of jokes, and it wasn't like a big deal. Like everybody was just kind of like happy to be there, and I was feeling extra goofy because again, like everything's out, so I'm just like being my normal bubbly self, and it's just adding an additional layer of humor because like I'm hanging out. And it was just like a really fun day. And, all of that fun energy got to get channeled into, making sure that we got that super creepy shot. And Parker couldn't have been more gracious. He was like, "Do you want to see what it looks like?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to see what it looks like." He's like, "So this is what we're thinking." And he was like, they were toying with the lights, and all of that was shot in the studio. So we really got to like do a take and then go look at what it looked like, and then go do another take and tweak something and then see what that looks like. And then once we had it, we were like, all right, cool, like creepy. But again, I feel like Naomi really had the weight of that scene, and my job was so easy. I just had to stand there like a creep, and then run, um,
Well,
which was also really funny.
obviously, you had a lot of fun playing the role of Alfredo. I
Yeah.
can just about the two reactions I can tell, which is great. I love talking to actors who had fun playing their roles because I get so much feedback and positive energy. I just love it. Um,
Yeah.
Jesus, if I saw a naked man running towards me, I'd be freaking out too, man. Just
Yeah, and
so
again, like it just like completely like turned like my idea of what I can play and what I can't play on its head. Because like before Smile 2, I had done, like an episode of the Gossip Girl reboot, an episode of the show on Netflix Partner Track, like a couple of like co-stars here and there. Really great projects, are really thankful for them, but like much more based in realism, right? Like, oh yeah, we could see you playing the exchange student, we could see you playing the like filmmaker guy, but then this one was like, oh wait, you can see me playing this, like, and obviously there's special effects, and the special effects team on this film they're so talented and artistic and creative and smart. um but they saw me and they were like, no, he's gonna be our creep. And it's like, wait, like that's like such a compliment in such a funny way that like I was like, yeah, I want to be a chameleon. I want to, freak out and play all kinds of weird roles. And yeah, yeah, super cool.
see, I was a little hurt though with when they kind of pushed your character away from Skyr Riley after the music venue. I was like, give the guy a hug or an autograph or something, or
Don't
hashtag
give
justice
that
for
guy a
Alfredo.
hug. Don't give that guy a
Start a hashtag justice for Alfredo. Come on, man. Just
hug.
I felt kind of bad. They pushed you. All you wanted was, you're a fan. You're a super fan of the singer.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, but also a creeper in sort of a way. I mean,
Yeah, he was getting real handsy and real strong real quick. you know.
so, but yeah. Um, Obviously you had a lot of fun playing Alfredo, but do you have any favorite scenes for the movie?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Um, and we can like go into detail with these without spoiling anything too much.
Absolutely. Too bad they kiss my
The
ass if they don't like it.
the charity scene where Sky Riley is like losing her mind and saying a lot of really not okay things at this charity event, and then she sees Ray's
Yeah.
character walking up. Paul is his name, and then she like pushes the older woman off the stage. That was like, this movie does such a good job of like writing that line of like, I am so anxious for you. I have like intense embarrassment and sadness and like anxiety for you in this moment. And then to break it up and to add this huge thing that's like almost funny, but like also really sad of like pushing this woman off the stage. It's just so stark that like it just like infuses the scene, and it infuses the audience watching it with like an array of emotions. Some people were like, oh my God, is she okay? Some people like laughed, some people screamed, like, you know, that was one of my favorite scenes. Um, I loved how they tied in the first movie in the beginning of the movie, the film, because I saw Smile One in theaters before I even knew that I would be in the sequel, and I was scared shitless watching this movie. Like I was with my girlfriend, and she's just like, "Can you stop screaming and jumping? It's messing with me. Like, stop it. Yeah, I'm getting scared from you as well as the movie. Like, come on." And yeah, so it's the way that they tied it into the second one was really cool. And let me think. I love Rosemary DeWitt's character. I love Miles's character, Miles Gutierrez, who plays the assistant. He's super like sassy. And even in my scene with him, like he's just like grossed out and like, okay, moving on. And I love Dylan, who plays the best friend, Gemma. I love their like, Gen Z millennial banter. And when she was just like, I made matcha. And like there was a lot of really good like moments of comedy that were like in stark contrast with this, like, I'm watching you and don't ever relax because something's right around the corner.
That's you perfect examples of good scenes. I mean, but yeah, my favorite one is when she's driving to meet Morris, and she's like, "I'm in control of my mind," and all of
Yeah.
a sudden she's hitting the brakes and she's spitting out. I'm like, "Holy shit, dude! What the
Hmm.
fuck just happened?"
Yeah. Yeah. And also that scene, like the flashback to when Paul and Sky are in that car accident and what exactly led to that accident. It's like, oh wow, like we can really understand, similar to the first one, they really dive into like the trauma that the character experiences that like the monster feeds on. And like in this second one, like the first one, you feel bad because Sosie Bacon's character was like a little kid and like was really like thrust in this really terrible situation. But in Smile 2, Skyr Riley is this like, you know, topsy turvy, like erratic person who like has a really bad moment and can't take it back. So that was a really cool difference too.
Another thing I liked about the movie is the entire time it's writing that line, trying to tell the difference of what's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
So, and to me, I had a hard time differentiating that. And which, in other words, I absolutely loved the shit out of this movie. So, a question I like to ask everyone is, if you could have had any other role in that movie, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. That's a great question. If I could have anyone else's role in this movie besides my own, who would I want to play? Oh man, that's such a good one. I'm gonna have to say Ray Nicholson's part because, you know, the character Paul is like beloved in everyone else's eyes, but then you really get like a meaty bite of who he really was behind closed doors, at least in a romantic relationship. And he also gets to do the smile frequently. And he serves as like a base for a lot of the trauma that the monster's feeding off of. So I'm gonna have to say Paul, he that would be really cool.
Yeah, it should be well too. I can't do that smile. Like I
You
can't do
did.
that.
You did it. You did it. That's it. Just put your head down a little bit, and that's it. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Always not as good as you and everyone else in the movie, but I tried. So,
It's so funny, like answering when we went to the premiere event, like they asked us, like, "How did you create the smile?" And like my answer is like, I just I just smiled. You know what I mean? Like I just like thought of the creepiest time that I did it, but like truly, I feel like it's just like using all the energy that you have in that moment and just like putting it in your face and just like holding it. Yeah, you nailed it.
so you saw the first one, obviously. Do you remember what they did? They hired actors to go out in the public and just smile at random places,
Yeah.
like at baseball games or like malls. And I,
We got something coming out similar to that with me involved. I can't give too many details yet, but you should actually got every you should be seeing it in like I want to say 2 or 3 days. It's coming out. Another ad for the film, and you know how it's streaming and
right.
everything, and it's a pretty cool holiday related ad that you'll
Oh
see.
shit. Oh shit.
Yeah. You heard it here. I'm not gonna get into details, but we just finished working on it, and it was a lot of fun um, up here in New York. So hope you guys like that.
New York is like the central hub of awesomeness, and I mean, New Jersey just sucks. Nobody comes and does this kind of shit in New Jersey. I mean,
I don't
it's
know,
horrible.
man. I don't know. Hoboken sounds real nice to live at right now.
It's like New Jersey is boring. I mean, a lot of crime and drugs. That's all ever happens around here. So nothing
I
cool
hear
like that.
you.
I mean,
Look, that's
if I want
everywhere
to,
these days, man.
if I want to see a premiere of a movie, I have to drive like 3 hours somewhere or fly somewhere.
Oh,
But
true.
so I live in South Jersey, right across the river from Philadelphia, and I'm afraid to go into Philadelphia.
Don't be
It's that
afraid,
bad.
man. Philly has some bomb food, man. You got to get some of
Yes,
that.
yes. I do like the food in Philadelphia. I do. I don't go out into dangerous places, but the theater where they do movie premieres is not in a good spot. So I'm
Got
like,
it.
do I want to risk going just because the show like 9 o'clock at night? I'm like, do I want to go here at 9 o'clock at night? I mean, all this stuff going on. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
in a
hear you.
bad neighborhood. So
You got to find your
yeah.
spots. You got to find your spot. I hear you.
So what's next for you? What's coming up? I mean, something that can
Yeah,
help me blast out for you.
that's a good question. So when the film came out, like a week or two later, this episode from The Equalizer that I filmed, I'm in the first episode of the fifth season. That came out the week after the Smile 2 came out. And in an episode of a show on FX that's coming out next year with Jenny Slate, well, that'd be really cool to come out and see. And finally, actually, this short film that I worked on out in San Francisco, that's actually hitting a couple of film festivals. It's like doing the film festival circuit. First one in San Fran on Saturday, this Saturday, and that's more like a Western film. It's a short film. It's called Forever West. So I'm like
Okay.
very different, still very charged, energetically speaking, but like he's like an outlaw cowboy instead of a
Okay.
creepy smiling guy. So yeah, a couple projects there to blast out. And, this is a grind, so I'm just like looking forward to seeing how like the publicity of this film and how well this film is doing kind of translates into, oh, let's bring him in to read for that, or let's try and do, like, I would love to just do a couple horror films back to back, and then maybe branch out from there.
Yeah, I think you would make a good. Are you familiar with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I think you make a good like a good hitchhiker role, like they did
Sick.
in the first one,
Yeah,
because you look very similar to him. Just saying. So you look very similar to the guy who plays the hitchhiker. So if
sick.
they were to make another one, which I fucking hope they don't, but if they do, because I've seen enough Texas Chainsaw remakes. But if they do bring one out, I hope you get that role as the hitchhiker because you look just like him. You got the hair, you got
Yeah,
the facial hair, you got the face. You'd be perfect for that role for the hitchhiker.
look,
So
whatever it is, let's go for it. As long as, like, the production team is like cool and they want to play and figure it out together, like let's jump in.
so I'm also hoping that I do get to see a lot of more movies because I love seeing actors who I've talked to in more movies. Because like, oh shit, I know that guy. I've talked to him or
Yeah,
I've talked
yeah,
to
yeah,
her. So and I love seeing them playing other roles. It's like oh Brooke Smith, who she was in Silence of the Lambs. And I
yeah,
spoke to her, and then she was in the TV show Grotesquerie. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know
yeah,
she's in this show. So it was great,
yeah. That's cool.
great show. Yeah. So I love seeing actors who I talk to doing other roles. I love it.
I'll keep
So
you updated, man. I'll let you know when the next thing rolls around.
sweet. So then yeah, thanks for coming on my show, man. I really do appreciate it. Taking the time
Absolutely.
out. And like I said, you delivered Alfredo perfectly. I mean, if they bring you back in Smile 3, I fucking hope so.
Look, we'll see, man. I'm always ready. I'm always ready.
Because we don't know what happens to Alfredo after that hallway scene. We have no idea. He can
People
still be
don't even think
around.
that it happened.
So
Some people are like, Alfredo was never actually real. And it's really cool to hear those like theories of like, oh, he was never actually even in there. And I was like, oh, wow. I didn't ever even thought of that until the film came out. So cool.
so if he was there actually there, come back to Smile 3, please. Because I
Yeah,
would love to see
please.
you come back as the creepy smiling fanboy stalker guy. It's just
Yeah. Or maybe he's like the leader of the smile cult or something. I don't know. Let's
there
figure it
you
out.
go. The Skyr Riley Club.
Exactly.
Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages and sizes, the talented, the awesome Iván Carlo, who plays the creepy and the guy who wants to know about your skincare regime. Alfredo, thank you so much. I wish you nothing but success in your career in the future. And dude, you've been awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right, you have a good weekend, and I'll see you on the big screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks again.
All right, take care.
Counting all the assholes in the room. Well, I'm definitely not alone. Well, I'm not alone. You're a liar, you're a cheater, you're a fool. Well, that's just like me, you. And I know you too.